What's up, folks? Welcome to the Monday night live stream. Yeah, let me get right here. Hold on. Let me get the vibe going. Hold on. All right, y'all. Let me catch up with everybody here. I got both ears plugged in. I don't need that. We don't need to do that. I need my situational awareness. What's up, everybody? Brandon Collins. What's going on? Dexter Young, Pump 17. Antonio Williams. Kels Bells. What's going on? How y'all doing? Jalen coming right out the gate with the questions here. We said, is 500 calories of honeydew equal to 900 calories of rice due to ease of absorption? No. Caloric value pretty much is going to be equivalent across all foods. But there is a difference as far as how your body uses or responds to that food, right? So in some cases, the honeydew actually may be a better option as opposed to the rice, depending on the condition of your gut health, right? So let's see, what's the next one here? Hemp seeds are the most complete plant protein. Can a raw banana smoothie bowl and hemp seeds replace cooked food? Replace cooked food? I think that, the hemp seeds with the banana, well, anywhere from 3 tablespoons to a quarter cup of whole hemp seeds with a few bananas. Do I think it could be a replacement? It depends on what the cooked food is. Is it going to be a replacement for, like, let's say sweet potato? Probably not. So it depends on the cooked food in question that you're looking to replace. So that requires a bit more of a nuanced answer. All right, but I'm going to be, answering some questions and things like that tonight. But we got to talk about gut health. We got to talk about the relationship between your first and your second brain, right? The gut-brain axis. So talking about that. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. People don't really talk a whole lot about gut health, right? Your digestive health, your gut microbiome. And the gut-brain axis. Those are some things that I want to touch in and explain those, and then get into brass tacks about foods and herbs and spices and techniques and things like that can improve pretty much any chronic illness across the board. Bacterial infection, viruses, parasites, autoimmune disease, weight loss, muscle gain, hormone stability, whatever the case may be. Right, so I'm going to get into all of that. Plant-based wife, welcome. Looking forward to this live. That's what I like to hear. Yes, ma'am. Yakira, what's going on? Welcome. First time making the live. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome. I've been raw vegan for a year now. Big shout out to you coming in for the long haul. Cali girl, big shout out to you. Clutching W's. Just every week after week, just non-stop with the progress. Big shout out to you. You've been killing the game. All right. Edward, what's going on? Good evening. Good to see you in here. Happy Monday, everyone. Mookie Joe, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Amy Thompson. Looking forward to this live stream. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all coming through with the positive energy. Kels Bells, do you still go live on TikTok? Haven't seen you in a bit now. Yeah, I took some time off of TikTok. TikTok's is hiding me from my folks. You know what I mean? So TikTok, the platform, and playing games a little bit. But I think I'm gonna jump back on there to the back on the usual schedule. I'm going to do. This is not concrete, but Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, I think I'll be back on TikTok. But I'm gonna have to let the folks know this is where it's at over on the YouTube channel, right? And I send out, the topic and the emails to let everybody know about the Monday night live stream and what we're gonna be talking about. D after 50, what's going on? Welcome, good to see you in here. Folks have been winning, okay? We're talking about all October, all November. Tribe folks have been killing it, okay? We're talking thyroid improvements. Folks are getting off their thyroid medications. Folks are reversing food allergies, autoimmune issues, rosacea, right? Been reversing rosacea, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, colitis, right? Adrenal issues, hormonal imbalances, right? Folks have been absolutely killing the game, losing weight and all that, building muscle. So definitely, big shout out to all the folks getting major progress over these last couple of months. And of course, folks regulating their blood pressure. I got a lot of good blood pressure results this week, right? Folks have been really killing it with getting their blood pressure in check. Big shout out to you, Callie. Coming through, normalizing the blood pressure with the quickness. All right, y'all. We got some folks too just booked a call with me. Natalie, not sure if you in here in the stream. Well, actually, Natalie Johnson, is that you here in the stream? You booked a call with me? Right, Jasmine, that's another one. Folks is serious about getting on the right track here. Right. Real quick, so I put links in the description of this live stream where you can book a call with me. Right. And I do hour-long calls. You get a full 60 minutes. You pick your day and your time that you want to get on the call, and we talk about whatever you want to talk about, answer whatever questions that you may have, right? Give you next steps to move forward towards, achieving what you want to achieve as far as your health is concerned, right? Whether it be building muscle, losing weight, reversing a chronic illness, whatever the case may be. So definitely link to book a call will be in the description. And then hit my link tree if you want to sign up for either a personalized plan with personalized coaching, becoming a member, or signing up for my free newsletter so you get alerts and notifications for streams like this. All right, John Green did my call. It was amazing. Big shout out to you, Mr. John, tuning in. We jam-packed those calls. I'm also I'm going to start recording the calls, right? So if you want the call to be recorded, basically I just record the call and then send you a video of the call, right? So I could just send that to you in your email or text message, however you want. And I send you a link to it and you just download it so then you can just refer back to the video for your answers. Right? So definitely that's a good one there. All right, so let's get into it, folks. Hit the like button to like the stream. You know what I'm saying? Hit that thumbs up button to like the stream. For those of you who are repeat visitors watching the stream, y'all know how I do. I don't skimp on the details. Right? So I want y'all to be well equipped with the information that y'all need. Let's talk about gut health. Right? How to fix your gut health. How to fix your gut health with high raw vegan nutrition, right? First of all, let's talk about why the gut health is important, right? People may have an idea of why it's important, but I'm going to explain it a bit more in detail. Now, imagine you've had a second brain. Your whole life, you've had a second brain, right? But you've ignored this second brain. You've neglected it, right? Maybe you've repeatedly engage in poisoning that second brain, right? And you've done this throughout your entire life. Maybe you've just done it over the last several years. Maybe you've done it over the last 10, 15 years, just neglecting and poisoning this second brain, right? And as a result of neglecting and abusing this second brain, you have issues. Maybe you have food allergies, seasonal allergies, anxiety and depression, maybe even bipolar issues, like real mental health issues, thyroid issues, adrenal fatigue, fatty liver disease, diabetes, kidney disease, right? Autoimmune disorders, right? Maybe you've got eczema. As a result, all these things are a result of just wreaking havoc on your gut health, right? If you have, whether it be eczema, rosacea, lupus, Guillain-Barré, whatever the case may be, diverticulitis, Crohn's, colitis, right? All these itises and osises, right? This is a result of basically damage and destabilization to that second brain, often known as your gut microbiome, right? Now, when I talk about gut health, I'm not just talking about the gut microbiome. I'm also talking about the digestive tract and the organs related to it, right? So your digestive tract is like, you know, your esophagus, stomach, small, large intestine, colon, rectum, all that type of stuff, straight down the middle, right? And then you have your peripheral organs, your gallbladder, pancreas, liver, kidneys, all that kind of stuff that exists in the periphery of the digestive tract, right? And then you have your gut microbiome, which is like this colony or civilization of bacteria that lives in your body. These little microbes, right? And I refer to it as a little civilization because it is like a population of little microorganisms. And they're little workers and they have different jobs, right? And they got these different service sectors in your body, right? And all of these little microbes, they communicate with each other, right, in an organized fashion. Not only do they communicate with each other, they communicate with you. They communicate with your head brain up here. And so your gut microbiome, all these little microbes, they make up like the second brain, right? And they send signals up and down to the main computer up top, and the main computer up top then communicates with the colony downstairs in your lower gut, right? This process is necessary for everything. I give you an example. You eat a food. This food has tryptophan. Tryptophan is then used inside your gut to create a neurotransmitter or hormone called serotonin. About 70 to 80% of the serotonin that exists in your gut that exists in your body is in your gut. It's synthesized in your gut, and then there's a signal sent to your brain to produce more of this serotonin up top. And then a portion of that serotonin is then converted into melatonin in the brain, and then is released when you're exposed to darkness at night when it's time to go to sleep. This process is mandatory in order for you to actually get deep, restful, good quality sleep. But it happens in the gut first. It doesn't happen up top first, right? So this has everything to do with what you eat. Serotonin is like the feel-good hormone. This is what allows you to live a peaceful, pleasurable life. It's just one hormone, it's serotonin, right? Then you've got dopamine, you've got endorphins, you got norepinephrine, noradrenaline, you got all these different hormones, these neurotransmitters that basically are just used to communicate stuff to your brain and tell your brain what to do. And the thing oftentimes that's telling your brain what to do is your gut bacteria, right? Your gut bacteria tells you, hey, produce more testosterone, right? So you send a signal down to your adrenals or your gonads, right, fellas, for your testes, right? Produce more of that testosterone, right? So let's get some more of that adrenaline going, right? Let's fill up those adrenal glands, right? Let's pick up the metabolism. Let's slow it down. We need more motivation. Let's get you going. We need to get agitated to get moving, right? So let's go and tap that dopamine, right? Let's tap into that dopamine sensitivity, ramp you up, right? You eat food. Hey, let's release adrenaline to help metabolize the fats and whatnot in your food. Let's release more thyroid stimulating hormone from the pituitary gland, right? Get that thyroid functioning. Let's get some more T4 to T3 conversion, so that we can start metabolizing more of these carbohydrates and fats and create more ATP and energy for your body to use for this workout. Or reading a book, whatever the case may be. And so in order for all of that to happen, you got these signals going up and down between your head brain and your gut brain, and these signals are traveling via your spine. or vagus nerve or gut-brain axis. I don't know if you've heard of this term before, the gut-brain axis. And this is your brain-to-brain communication, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all day. And these signals, this form of communication requires infrastructure that is powered by minerals. In large part, minerals are conductors, like copper, right? A conductor of energy, electrical impulses through your nervous system. Magnesium, manganese, selenium, right? All of these different minerals and whatnot, and they work together to form DNA and, you know, proteins and hormones and signals and all this type of stuff, and amplify signals and all of this kind of stuff, right? Very complicated, fascinating stuff. These minerals, they degrade over time, which is why they need to be replenished, like a battery, right? You got like a copper top Duracell battery, but you know, look, there's only been so much communication or transmission of energy that the body can, that the battery can engage in before there's too much acid accumulation and the battery essentially dies because it no longer has the internal integrity to be able to conduct alkaline energy, right? It's just bleeding these alkaline forming elements over time. And then you get like battery acid, which is kind of like this chalkish white substance that you often find at the bottom of the battery, right? The human body is like a recharging battery, but you gotta keep putting those minerals. Oh. Yep, OBS disconnected and is now reconnecting. Okay. Had a little bit of a drop off on my OBS, but we're back here now. All right. Folks, put some ones in the chat if y'all can hear me clearly. I just want to make sure that we're smooth. We're running smooth here. All right, good. First one up in the chat. There we go. Put the ones up. Yeah. All right. Now let me pick back up here, right? So I wanted to give a brief overview, essentially, of the gut-brain axis, your first and second brain, okay? Protect and nourish both your brains. Both of them, right? Now, when you have gut health issues, this can be damage to your digestive tract. Let's say, for example, your intestines. Your intestines, or the lining of your intestines, is coated with this mucosa, which is like this layer that secretes enzymes and absorbs nutrients. It's this two-way street, right? And it's got like these little fingers, these little microscopic fingers, right, called villi. And it kind of connects and plays with your food and pulls nutrients from your foods, right? It looks weird, but it's really fascinating stuff. Now, you can have damage to that mucosa. And you can have damage to it, and people call this leaky gut. Right? Where you get like this harmful permeability. And that can give you all kinds of pain and burning sensations in your gut, lethargia, weird stuff like gas and bloating, all types of nastiness, even internal bleeding, right? Depending on how severe the issue is. So this can be like physical damage to your digestive tract, right? Your intestines. In your stomach, you can have actual ulcers in your stomach, where you've got too much acid accumulation in your stomach, and your lining, your stomach lining, is in a vulnerable situation, getting chewed out by this acid, because there's not this protective layer there in your stomach to protect your stomach lining. So you can have stomach acid, stomach ulcers. It can be tremendously painful. You can get ulcers in your intestines also. You can have issues in your colon and work similarly. You can get inflammation of the diverticula of your intestines. People call this diverticulitis, right? Where when you eat, it just hurts. Nasty stuff, right? So that's like damage to your digestive tract. And then you can have a mass death or a loss of the important gut bacteria, right? Your gut flora, some people refer to it as in the scientific community, right? And so you get these billions of bacteria of all types of different cultures and whatnot, right? Ethnicities, I guess, if you wanted to put it. And when you have poor gut health, you can have a very limited amount of these beneficial gut flora, which then paves the way for an excess amount of bad gut bacteria, right? And then this bad gut bacteria, it goes unchecked by your good gut bacteria, and it can just spread from your lower gut to your upper gut. And the next thing you know, you got a bacterial infection in your stomach, right? So there's nasty issues like this that can happen. Not only can this feel like pain in your stomach and your intestines and your colon and all of this type of stuff and all of that nastiness, it can show up in your mood. It can show up in brain fog, lack of motivation, low testosterone, mood swings, hot flashes, right? Anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, all types of stuff. And it then gets worse as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into sleep deprivation. And that's kind of what these things lead to over time, is sleep deprivation. And the sleep deprivation happens through a variety of mechanisms, like a lack of vitamins and minerals, poor formation and synthesis of amino acids, and then of course pain keeping you up at night, anxiety, thoughts running, keeping you up at night, difficulty focusing or concentrating. Your sleep cycle is completely off, where your cortisol levels are extremely high at night and then they're way too low in the morning. And so you're really groggy and lethargic in the morning, and then you're all amped up and high energy at night and then can't fall asleep and have all this anxiety and heart palpitations at night. All of that is related to your gut health, right? And then I mentioned those peripheral organs, right? Your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, your gallbladder, right? That's where you get fatty liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver, CKD, chronic kidney disease, right? Constant gallstones or inflamed gallbladder, where you just have a painful gallbladder. It's just you're just getting flare-ups all the time, right? Excess cholesterol, calcification of arteries, high blood pressure, right? Poor pancreatic function, to the point where you can actually be accidentally misdiagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I've had people like that before. They were like, yeah, they said I was type 1 diabetic, and then I went back and then they said I wasn't. It was an accident or whatever, I don't know. Because the function of your pancreas can be reduced in an acute fashion, where it can show up on a C-peptide test that you just got poor pancreatic function. Right? So you got really elevated blood sugar all the time, that kind of thing. And then this issue gets compounded by getting put on all types of medications that you don't actually need, which then makes the issue worse, right? And if you have autoimmune disorders, if you're taking steroids, for example, for a skin condition like eczema, this is important for you to know, because steroids actually make you insulin resistant, which cause you to have excess blood sugar all the time, which then can lead to high blood pressure, which then can put stress on your kidneys, and it has this whole cascading effect, right? So this stuff can really get out of control, and in order to start reeling it back in and really improving your health, you actually got to address your gut. So let's talk about that. Number one, we're going to start with the gut microbiome, right? So you have two things that help to improve your gut microbiome: probiotic rich foods, prebiotic rich foods, right? Those are the two things. So probiotic rich foods are often like fermented foods. One of my favorites that I suggest is coconut yogurt, right? Another one can be kimchi, which is basically horseradish and cabbage, different fermented vegetables like that. Sauerkraut, fermented cabbage. Pickles, fermented cucumber. Kombucha, fermented black tea, right? Miso, fermented soybeans. Or natto, fermented soybeans. These fermented foods, essentially what happens is the little beneficial microbes, they feed on the fiber and the starches inside the foods, and they use them as a mechanism to proliferate. They multiply, feeding on the starches. And that ferments the food. It's essentially what does it, right? Foods also ferment inside your gut, right? So your fiber, your gut can't really digest fiber and use it for energy, but your gut microbes can. The fiber is not meant to feed you, it's meant to feed your gut bacteria, right? It's their food, not yours. So when you have your probiotic rich foods, your coconut yogurt, your pickles, your kimchi, your sauerkraut, your kombucha, what else ones did I say? Your natto, your miso, right? I'm sure there's others, but those are the ones that come to mind for me right now. I think 7 is enough, right? So eating these fermented foods, I'm more biased towards coconut yogurt, which is a bit softer, right? It's not as vinegary. So people tend to like the taste of that better. And then you put some blueberries and bananas and chia seeds and whatnot on that, and it's just this it's a gut health stew, right? A gut health cocktail. And you start your day off with that, right? This coconut berry yogurt bowl. And then, of course, when you got things like chia seeds, your blueberries, or flax seeds, these have prebiotic fibers. Jerusalem artichoke, turmeric, ginger, right? Kale, really any kind of cabbage, right? The cruciferous leafy greens, mustard greens, broccoli, spinach. All of these things have prebiotic fibers that then ferment in your gut, feeding your good gut bacteria. Now, this benefits you in two main ways. Number one, it's going to feed and grow the population of your beneficial gut bacteria. But also, by proxy, this is going to diminish bad gut bacteria, because bad gut bacteria doesn't really feed on prebiotic fiber. They like the acidic, fatty foods, the processed sugar. And essentially, when I say processed sugar, I mean sugars that go unaccompanied with whole foods that contain a variety of vitamins and minerals and amino acids and fiber, right? When it's just straight sugar, void of any other nutrients to accompany it, that feeds bad bacteria, right? So the probiotic foods and the prebiotic fiber working together expands the civilization, the microbial civilization in your gut, right? Diminishes the bad bacteria. This clears up your stomach and protects your stomach from getting, like, let's say SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, right? If you have that issue, you gotta, in your lower gut, that's what you gotta nourish and get together. So those fermented foods, those prebiotic foods, basil, parsley, oregano, garlic, leeks. These are some foods you want to have in your diet for that situation, because those are those really important prebiotic fibers, right? Oh, another one too that I don't mention enough is It starts with an A. Aloe vera gel. Aloe vera. Right? Actually putting aloe vera in a smoothie or something like that. That's really good for your gut health. It's really good for your stomach lining, your intestinal lining, reducing inflammation, and also being very beneficial for your gut microbiome as well. Right, so that's a good thing to put in there. Aloe vera gel, and then sea moss. That's another very important prebiotic fiber. Right? Sea vegetables in general, nori, seaweed in general, bladderwrack, burdock, right? Irish sea moss, peppers, white pepper, black pepper, cayenne pepper. And those things that I just mentioned are antibacterial, anti-bad bacterial, right? So they're not anti-good bacteria, they're anti-bad bacteria. They kill off bad bacteria. They're antiviral and antifungal. That's really important for your gut health, maintaining the infrastructure of your gut. All right. And this is where things like your cooked foods may play a very vital role in your diet. This is why I'm a big advocate for high raw vegan nutrition. Not fully raw necessarily, but high raw. You can be fully raw, and that's very beneficial as well. And some people they may need to just have to be fully raw vegan. But when it comes to foods that you may have to cook, that may be things like lentils or red lentils. So let's say you take red lentil, let's say a half a cup or a whole cup of dry red lentils, and you boil those in a pot, and then you throw it in the blender. And then you add basil, you add onion powder, you add a little garlic, you add nutritional yeast, right? You add cayenne pepper, a little white pepper, right? A little bit of sea salt, cumin, whatever the case, turmeric. And then you blend that up, you add a little bit of water for consistency, and you blend it up, and you can make yourself a nice red lentil soup. Right? Add nutritional yeast in to get the extra B vitamins, right? Thiamine, folate, B12, you know, that kind of stuff. And you throw that in there. A little bit of extra protein, cheesy flavors, delicious, right? You blend that up, make a nice lentil soup, and then have that over broccoli, right? Steamed broccoli, steamed cabbage, steamed pulled kale, and you've got your lentil veggie soup. And then in addition to that, you can add pumpkin seeds to it. The pumpkin seeds, very rich source of prebiotic fiber, omega-3 essential fatty acids, protein, polyunsaturated fats. Very phenomenal food to have. You can do either roasted pumpkin seed kernels or raw pumpkin seed kernels. Raw pumpkin seed kernels, you're going to have to chew into them a little bit more. They're a bit tougher, but the fibers are more intact. So either one works. Depending on how compromised your gut is, you may want roasted pumpkin seed kernels because that's easier for your gut to pull nutrients from. I'm a very big fan of something like that. Lentils, I'm a huge fan of lentils. And putting them in the blender just makes it even easier for your gut to pull nutrients from them. People have, like, when it comes to legumes, people get gassy or bloated or whatever when they have a compromised gut. So they go, every time I eat beans or whatever, or lentils, I get gassy or bloated. My stomach hurts. A workaround for that is if you put that stuff in the blender and you puree it up nice, right? And you add some water to it and make it a little bit more of a soupier consistency. And that gets rid of the gas and the bloating, all the rocket fuel coming out the backside, right? Your spouse will thank you for it, right? So when you're in bed at night, you don't got to worry about blowing them out of the bed, right? And you don't got to worry about, feeling like you got a massive food baby all pressurized in the gut. So yeah, pureeing it. You can do this with chickpeas, black beans, any kind of beans really. But I'm more partial specifically to the lentils, specifically red lentils, because that's easiest on the gut. As far in my experience, as well as the people who I create plans for and everything like that, they have an easier. I never get any complaints when it comes to the lentils. It goes down real smooth and easy, right? That's really important for your gut health, because let me tell you something. That folate from those lentils, that magnesium, that manganese, that copper, that's going to supercharge your nervous system. That's going to supercharge your brain chemistry, your gut health. Those minerals are vitally important, right? That potassium, there are 5 alkalizing macro minerals, right? Calcium, potassium, magnesium, manganese, iron. Lentils has all 5. And alkalizing your gut is one of the most beneficial things that you can do for your gut health, right? And I'm talking now not just about your gut microbiome, but your actual digestive tract. When it comes to actual gut damage to your digestive tract, that's when those minerals and those vitamins and amino acids, that's vitally important. And 1 cup of red lentils measured dry is like 45 grams of protein. And those will break down into amino acids, which are the building blocks of not just your digestive tract, your intestines, but also the enzymes and the hormones that your body produces in order to maintain your health and your brain chemistry, regulating blood sugar and all that type of stuff. So that's a big deal. As far as your major sources of calcium, that's going to be your leafy greens, hands down. Right? You want more calcium in your diet, your leafy greens. We're talking mustard greens, broccoli, kale, spinach. Right? Those are the main ones. Whether romaine lettuce, baby butter lettuce, all that type of stuff. All your tender greens, any type of cabbage. You'll be getting all your calcium from that. Calcium, vitamin C, iron, big deals for that. Pumpkin seed kernels, you'll be getting your selenium. If you need more iodine in your diet for thyroid issues, Yukon Gold potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, those are going to contain the necessary iodine that you need, right? So if you're going to have that cooked meal for that high raw vegan diet, those potatoes is a great source for it. And then also if you're going to do that red lentil soup, you can do seaweed. Get some sheets of nori, slice that up, and then put that right into your soup. Boom. And your iodine is covered. You don't need a whole lot of iodine. You can overdo it on the iodine. Right? Iodine, you need it in very small amounts. You don't really need much of it. At all, really. So that's the deal with that. The foods now that provide the most benefit as far as repairing gut health, in my experience and from all the people that I've helped with reverse all types of crazy food allergies, hormonal imbalances, bacterial infections, viruses. I've had people come to me with hepatitis. We've seen a reduction in the viral load in their hepatitis, where their hepatitis is like starting to go away. It's reversing by reducing that viral load. I've seen the biggest results from this with a diet that is mostly, almost entirely raw. When it comes to viruses, a low protein diet seems to be the thing that yields the most benefits. And the reason for that is because the viruses actually need the amino acids in order to make copies of themselves, because they need the proteins. They need to be able to synthesize the proteins to make copies of themselves. If there's not enough of that available protein, they can't make copies of themselves. And therefore the viral load declines over time as you strengthen your immune system, right? So that's the methodology behind that. And that works with parasites, that works with viruses. Fungus is a little bit different. Fungus is about disrupting the outer layer of the fungus that it insulates itself in to protect it from your immune system, right? So there's a biofilm that encapsulates fungus or fungi, and that biofilm acts as a shield to protect it from your immune system. This is the reason why your immune system has a hard time regulating fungal infections. So if you have something like garlic in your diet, you have something like basil, oregano, black seed, like cumin or whatever the case is in your diet, that disrupts the biofilm, and it causes the fungus to be vulnerable to then being destroyed and regulated by your immune system. So that's how that works, right? Which is why black seed oil is phenomenal, right? Lavender oil, peppermint oil, grapefruit oil, right? These types of oils, oregano oil. A lot of the essential oils are antibacterial, antifungal, anti-parasite, antiviral, all that kind of stuff. Right, so the essential oils are a big deal with that. But as far as healing, let's say your stomach lining, let's say you have ulcers, stomach, intestines, etc. This is where you need soluble fiber. Soluble fiber is one, so you have soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. Insoluble fiber doesn't dissolve in water. That moves straight through your digestive tract, right? Unbroken. Soluble fiber dissolves in water, right? And it becomes like this gelatinous coating. That gelatinous coating will then coat your stomach lining, or it'll coat your stomach and protect your stomach from damage as a result of excess acid. Right, so you can regulate the acid formation in your stomach with that soluble fiber. This is also very important for people with heartburn, acid reflux, GERD. Right, this soluble fiber helps to regulate that. So I'm a very big fan of things like bananas because of this. Berries, rolled oats, right? I'm a big fan of overnight oats, right? Using rolled oats because that provides plenty of soluble fiber. Right? A lot of fruits give you that soluble fiber to coat your stomach, right? But bananas tend to be very soothing. Aloe vera, that's another thing. Right, so if you got a morning smoothie or something like that, and put aloe vera in there, it's very beneficial. Coconut, that's another one. Right, so that coconut meat, coconut yogurt, big deal for that as well. Coating your stomach, your esophagus, regulating acid and all that kind of stuff, right? And then having that paired, and the reason why bananas in particular, because bananas are an alkalizing food. You know, bananas got the potassium, bananas got the magnesium, the manganese, the iron, the vitamin C, all that helps to alkalize your body. Right? It helps to alkalize the environment in your stomach. Right? So the bananas are phenomenal for that. Bananas are a phenomenal breakfast food, period. And you can have them in large amounts. Chia seeds also very beneficial as far as that soluble and insoluble fiber. Gives you a nice mix of both. Right? And if you have gut complications, you may want to pre-soak chia seeds. So, like, let's say if you do a chia pudding, you would put the chia pudding in your coconut yogurt or plant-based milk overnight, put that in the fridge, right? Or, you know, you put the plant-based milk or coconut yogurt in the blender, you add your chia seeds and your bananas and your berries, you puree that up nice, and then you leave it in the fridge overnight. And the chia seeds will expand over time. It'll be a lot easier for your gut to pull nutrients from. And that is very good for regulating blood pressure, blood sugar, maximizing nutrient absorption, and providing a coating, a protective coating for your gut. And then, of course, the insoluble fiber moves through your digestive tract, binding to toxins, whether it be plastics, heavy metals, parasites, whatever the case may be, and they suck them up, this fiber, and pulls it through your digestive tract, and it comes out in your fecal matter. Right? Apples. Apples, that apple pectin, super important. Gives you a nice mix of that soluble and insoluble fiber as well. Apples actually are a good source of boron that help to regulate sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone. Right? So if you've got low testosterone as a man, that extra boron in the apples actually helps raise your T levels. If you have gut damage or you have joint pain, any type of arthritis or whatever the case is, apples are a rich source of malic acid. Malic acid repairs connective tissues. Malic acid also repairs your gut lining. And then the vitamin C also is soothing for your digestive tract, right? Which is the reason why when you have like a fruitarian diet rich in vitamin C, where you're just eating, you know, grapes and berries and bananas and watermelon all day, you're getting all of this water and vitamin C and B vitamins in your diet. It's just very healing and nourishing. This is the reason why a raw vegan diet is so beneficial as far as fixing gut health issues. And so when those fibers, when those apples flow through your digestive tract, that apple pectin hits your lower gut, ferments in your lower gut, and your gut bacteria creates what's that called? Short chain fatty acids. And those short chain fatty acids help to bolster your immune system and increase fat metabolism. Just to name a few things. Gives you more energy, improves digestion, supports your immune system, and improves fat metabolism. Right, so just that apple pectin does a variety of things. Also lowers blood pressure, regulates cholesterol, all types of stuff. Big deal. You know, people talk about, oh, one thing that helped to give you more energy in the morning or increase fat metabolism is drinking apple cider vinegar. Eating apples and just having the apple pectin ferment in your gut does the same exact thing. The only difference is you're not swallowing apple cider vinegar and just having that thing tear away at your esophageal lining and your stomach. Right? That's why you got to dilute like the apple cider vinegar, because that stuff is strong. It will tear you up. It can erode your teeth. You have people, they were like, I had to stop drinking apple cider vinegar because my teeth were getting sensitive. They were wearing down the enamel of their teeth, crushing the apple cider vinegar, right? So eating apples is a much better bet. Also, apples is a good food to chew on. They help strengthen your jaw, right? Because you got muscles in your jaw and whatnot. So chewing your food is important, right? And so when you're eating raw foods, very cruciferous greens, forces you to chew your food. You got to chew the apples. You got to chew the spinach. You got to chew the kale. You do a lot of chewing, right? Eating nuts, your Brazil nuts, your almonds, these types of things. Yeah, a lot of chewing, right? So basically everything that I just described are just a variety of different ways and things to eat in order to improve your digestive health, right? So we talked about healing your stomach lining, your intestinal lining, feeding your gut bacteria, growing your gut bacteria, decreasing bacterial overgrowth, harmful bacteria, protecting against viruses, parasites, fungal infections, right? And by the way, talking about fungal infections, yeast in bread, I would avoid gluten and bread with yeast. I would avoid these things. I don't really mess around with bread too much, period. But the yeast and the gluten is problematic. So the yeast is an active yeast that is an actual fungus, right? It's actual yeast, a live culture, right? That if you have fungal issues in your stomach, it can be way worse. And so you have a lot of women dealing with yeast infections. because of poor gut health. If you're having yeast infections, and it's a fairly common thing, that's an implication of you have gut health issues, right? So you want to really cut back on that yeast consumption. Nutritional yeast is a different thing because it's not an active yeast culture, right? Gluten is an adhesive. If you've ever baked before, you know that gluten is the thing that holds, it binds whatever baked good, whether it be cookie, cakes, or whatever the case is, that gluten holds it together. Gives a nice texture. Without the gluten, it kind of just crumbles and falls apart. It's kind of dry. It's not as doughy, a little too flaky, right? It doesn't hold together well without the gluten. Gluten is like a type of protein that acts as a type of glue. Now, this stuff can disrupt the mucosal layer in your intestines, and it can gum up the microvilli in your intestines. Remember, I talked about the little micro fingers, right? That play around with your food in your intestines and pull nutrients and all of this. The little fingers, they. But gluten can actually gum that up. Okay? And so over time, you can develop a gluten allergy. And that's basically where your body is like, look, this gluten stuff, that's enough. Stop. And your body can respond with acne, eczema, rashes, all types of nasty stuff. Right? Your face can balloon up where you get all type of puffiness in your face and all underneath your chin. You can get inflammation in your thyroid, right? Where you get puffiness all up under here and your face be big, right? Because this stuff can be inflammatory. It just builds up in your digestive tract over time, right? So that's something to look out for. So that's why I'm not really a huge fan of like wheat or like conventionally grown wheat, like what we have in the US. I'm not really a big fan of that. I don't really mess with wheat. The only exception that I would make is spelt and kamut. Those are like the only two kind of exceptions that I would make. I'm more partial to kamut over spelt. Right? Let me catch up with y'all in these comments here. And folks, hit the like button, right? Hit the like button to like the stream. Like the stream if you like the stream. We got a good showing in here tonight. I appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love on the stream. Let me get to some of these questions y'all got from me here. What about amaranth? Amaranth, yeah, amaranth is okay. That's fine. Have you tried the black lentils? Yes. Absolutely. I like all lentils. The darker lentils are more bitter. They're more bitter and they're more fibrous. You're the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. I use ground chia seeds. Ground chia seeds works. It's definitely going to be easier on your gut. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Flaxseed meal, ground chia seeds, whole hemp seeds. If you have a food processor, I just got a Ninja and I got like the whole thing, right? I got the Ninja blender. That thing is like 7,500 watts. It's an absolute powerhouse. And with the food processor, so I'm going to be using that. I'm going to make some raw breads or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's going to be fun. But yeah, you know, grinding some things up in the food processor. Absolutely. I salute y'all for doing this vegan thing. I just can't do it. I can look at y'all vegans and see the lack of muscle control in y'all movements. Something is missing. I don't know what you mean by y'all. I go in the gym and train, and dudes don't even believe I'm vegan because I'm be one of these dudes that be lifting more weight than everybody in the gym, and they eat twice as much protein as I do. So I don't know what you mean, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You see this? You see this going on here? Oh, you're gonna have me acting up, flexing on stream. But yeah, I mean, look. Just because you don't eat animal products doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be like in the best health possible ever, right? Like, just simply being vegan is not a magic bullet, right? As a matter of fact, veganism is an ethical stance where you don't consume animal products because you don't believe in engaging in animal abuse, right? So for me, I am ethically against animal abuse. So, you know, butchering and billions of animals and stealing their kids and milking the mothers and murdering a bunch of babies and all this grotesque stuff they do in slaughterhouses. I'm not cool with that, right? So I don't want anything to do with that. I'm cool on that. So I don't have anything to do with that. So, but with plant-based and the things I'm talking about, this is about more so about health and human wellness, right? I mean, if you want muscle control and you want to build muscle, I don't care how much protein you eat. I don't care how many eggs you eat. I don't care how much meat you eat. Here in the US, we eat a lot of animal products, our population, okay? And most people are weak. Eat a lot of protein, and they're weak. There's no shortage of guys at the steakhouse eating steaks, and they're weak. They can't do more than 20 push-ups, and they can't deadlift twice their body weight, and they skip leg day because they talk about their knees bad. All right? Eating more protein in your diet is not going to save you. There's nothing magical about animal products. It's not just eating more protein is going to build muscle. If you want to be big, you want to be strong, you're going to have to actually get physically stronger and do the resistance training and or weightlifting in order to do it. Like, your body ain't gonna just make muscle for no reason, just simply because you eat omelets, right? That ain't how it works. Right, so you still got to put in the work. Let's see. What do you think about my diet? Breakfast is cantaloupe, watermelon, and tangerine. For lunch, jerk portobello mushroom. I like that. Rice, broccoli, and plantains. For dinner, jerk mushroom. Oh, jerk. We got the you love the jerk stuff. Jerk mushroom, rice, sweet potato, and avocado. Okay, all right. Yeah. I mean, it sounds good. Let me see here. I would add some legumes in there, though. I would definitely add some chickpeas or some lentils in there. And I would add like some hemp seeds or chia seeds in there. I would probably add some pumpkin seed kernels in there, or something like that. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty solid. I would add more variety of fruits in there. I might add some more kiwis in there, some grapes, right? Add some mango in there if you can get them. I know depending on where you're at right now, we're getting deep into winter, so it might be a little bit of a limitation on what you can get. But yeah, so those are some things that I would add in. I like the sweet potato. I like the avocado. I like the plantains, the broccoli, the rice. Hopefully that rice is either basmati rice, wild rice, or brown rice. I like the portobello mushrooms. I like the jerk seasoning. The cantaloupe, the watermelon, the tangerines. I like that. So yeah, that's good stuff. I like that. Yeah. Sounds good. Oh, and I would get some more leafy greens in there, right? So I'd probably get some more mustard greens in there, or spinach or kale, something like that in there. Kelp, true. All right, them sea vegetables. If fiber is for the bacteria, why do people juice? Sounds like smoothies are better. So it depends, right? I think that, so this is why, like, look, juicing is great. I'm more partial to whole foods. because if you are trying to reverse a chronic illness, I think that fiber is something that you shouldn't abandon. I think that's something that you should have in your diet, right? Those prebiotic fibers. I just don't see a reason for sacrificing that. I think the only real reason for that is because your gut just can't handle it. Maybe because your immune system is so compromised. Maybe you're in like late stage cancer or something. Maybe you can't keep food down, like solid foods, you vomit or whatever the case is. And so the juicing is the only way to get nutrients in your body and be able to keep it down, maybe. And then if that's the case, then the juicing makes sense. But generally speaking, juicing shouldn't be an either or thing. I think juicing should be in addition to eating whole foods. I don't think it should be an either or thing. All right, let's see. Are natural probiotics better than bioengineered probiotics? I don't know if one is better than the other. I know they both work. Honestly, I would say do both. Right? I mean, if it's going to yield a benefit, do both, quite honestly. But people do this thing where they take probiotics, they take a probiotic supplement, but then they don't have the diet that sustains it. Right? So if you take a probiotic supplement, that's fine. You're going to now a lot of that beneficial gut bacteria is going to die off in the digestive process. So whatever's left over, however much percentage of that it is going to make it into your gut, but you still have to have the diet to sustain them. So you still have to have that prebiotic fiber. You still have to have the vitamin and mineral rich diet, and you still have to have an alkalizing diet, right? Because if you have a bunch of acidic foods, then your immune system is going to have to step in and work harder, and your body's going to have to work harder in order to keep up your pH balance. Your kidneys are going to have to work harder to keep up your pH balance. And that's generally not something you want to do if you're trying to reverse gut health issues or chronic illness issues, right? You don't want your body to have to do so much work in order to maintain itself. That's what your food is for, right? Your food should be leverage to make your body's job easier, right? What they're doing now is they're actually making probiotic supplements with prebiotics in them. So the capsule has got it's like a capsule inside a capsule, and like part of the capsule is the probiotics, and then part of the capsule is like the prebiotics. And so they're doing that now, right? Which is interesting. So yeah. All right, I think I got to everybody's questions here, right? Thanks for the live, Andre. Appreciate you tuning in. All right, I think I got to everybody here. Oh, D said, as vegans, we appreciate animals and humans, therefore no need for meat. Protein comes in fruits and vegetables also. True. I'm so basic. I need to try new things. I've never had lentils or quinoa. Yeah, definitely. Those are some good food options. Toasted hemp seeds have a very important approach of toasted hemp seeds. I don't think I've had toasted hemp seeds. That's interesting. Do I have a video on how to improve protein intake? I have a live stream that I did on protein rich foods and things like that, how much protein you need. I did a live stream on that. Yeah. Do you have a video? Oh, yeah, I read that already. Is food combining pivotal? I don't know what you mean by that. Is food combining pivotal? What do you mean by that? Can you make a salad dressing using lentils? Yes. Yes, you can. Absolutely. I was going to say you're very muscular to me. Yeah, I'm like, what I'm saying, look, You want the muscle mass, you got to work for it. Suggestions for pre-diabetes. A lot of what I said in this stream actually helps towards reversing diabetes, actually. Yeah, pretty much everything I said. If you focus on everything that I just said in this video, the food suggestions that I made, the probiotic foods, the prebiotic food sources, eating the foods that I just mentioned in this stream, all of these things, one thing all these things have in common is regulating blood sugar, right? So blood sugar control is a big theme there as far as improving your gut health. Oh, last thing I want to touch on too, when it comes to your gut health, having an eating schedule. All right, so, and having an eating schedule that's tight. So having an eating schedule that is 4 to 8 hours, roughly. The sweet spot is probably like around 6 hours or so. So out of your day, you take like a 6-hour block to eat all your food, right? When you partition your days like this, and you have like an eating window, you give your gut a chance to take a break from working. You don't even need to eat every day. You can eat every other day, because the full rounded digestion for all of your food that you eat today is going to take like roughly 36 hours to move completely through your digestive tract, for your bowels to completely empty, right? So, you know, if you're doing like a 24 or 36 hour fast, you allow for your gut to empty out, clear out, empty your colon, everything, intestines, empty it out. Give your gut a break. So implementing some type of intermittent or alternate day fasting can also be extremely beneficial for your gut health, because your gut health can be so compromised that your body will shut your appetite down to force you to stop eating. Right? So if your gut is like very severely compromised, your body may just be like, look, you need to knock it off. We're done with all of this eating stuff, all right? That's enough. And you can just not really have much of an appetite, right? So having that eating window and really tightly regulating that, you'll see your appetite will start to level out a little bit. What you don't want to do is you don't want to completely yield to not having an appetite, because then you can just chronically undereat just perpetually. Days, weeks, months, years. Which is bad gut health and undereating. You just end up getting worse over time. You have to be deliberate about regaining your health. It's not going to happen passively. It has to be like a deliberate, well planned out strategy and consistent execution. That's what's going to get you out. All right. Extended fasting, that's the deal. Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, that is true. There's a caveat though. The longer you fast, the less of a return you get. I think like doing 3 to 7 days, that's enough. Right? A 3-day rolling fast strategy, I think that's a good thing to be able to do, let's say on a weekly basis, where you can take, depending on your situation, you can take 8 to 12, maybe 16 weeks. You do 3 days fasting, 4 days eating. 3 days fasting, 4 days eating. Right? And that can be a strategy. Let's say if you got a lot of weight to lose, that could be an option right there. Now I'm going to probably do another stream about weight loss and stress management. And it'd be another thing I have to talk about, because, you know, people with gut health issues struggling to lose weight, and they're struggling to lose weight because they have gut health issues. Right? When I talk about weight loss, a lot of times I talk about it from the lens of like traffic, right? Weight loss, in order for weight loss to happen, there has to be like adequate traffic control, and your body will regulate you. In order to really lose weight and keep the weight off, you have to be good at stress management. Otherwise, if you're very poor at stress management, your body will cap you off and set a high set point for how much weight you can lose, right? So let's say you are 315 pounds and then your set point will be like 270. Boom. You hit that 270 point, boom, weight loss stops. Right? In order for you to get below that 270, you're going to have to address your stress. You're going to have to significantly reduce your amount of stress first. So as you reduce your stress, essentially what happens is you get better blood pressure, better blood sugar, better sleep quality. Green light, green light, green light, and let's go. And then the weight starts coming off, and then you can drop down to like 255. Boom. And your body will hold. Because your body will fight you when it comes to losing a lot of weight. Because your body isn't trying to be like, oh, we're just going to burn through body fat straight through. Right? We're just going to make a beeline straight down from that 315 to 150. It doesn't happen that way. The more weight you lose, the more your body will resist weight loss. Because the reason why you put the weight on in the first place is because your body did that as a defensive mechanism. Your body's being defensive with this fat hoarding. Your body's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Right? It's kind of like economically. You get a pay bump. Imagine right now you get like a 20% pay increase. 20%. You'd be like, what? 20% on my paycheck? Right? I'm gonna loosen up on the wallet a little bit. I might go take a vacation. I'm gonna go buy some new clothes. Right? I'm gonna start spending some money. I'm gonna be a little bit loose with the grip. Right? You take a 20% pay cut. Your body's like, right? You're gonna be like, we gotta tighten up the belt, right? We gotta chill out with the spending. You start looking for bills to cancel. All right, well, Netflix, I don't really watch that much. And, with the food, I don't really need to eat that. Let me cut down on that. Or, let me start looking at the prices a little bit more. Let me start getting things that's on sale. Right? You start making these cutbacks. And you're definitely not trying to dip into your savings account or start liquidating, stock and all this type of stuff. And you don't want to start doing that. Right? So, you got glucose and carbohydrates, that's like your checking account, and then you got fat, that's like your savings account, and you don't want to tap into your savings account. So when your body has an option, are we going to cut into the savings account? We're going to start moving money over from the savings to the checking? Or we're just going to cut the spending altogether? What your body will do, your body will slow you down. You'll feel less motivated, right? You'll start to feel like, maybe I'll skip the day at the gym. I'm kind of tired. I don't feel like doing much. I don't feel like meal prepping. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like that. Your brain chemistry starts changing. You start getting slowed down. Your body puts the brakes on you. Your brain chemistry changes. You start getting slowed down. Everything starts slowing down, right? Your body imposes austerity on you. All this muscle building, nah. All this weightlifting, this high effort stuff, nah. Book reading and nah. You want to start a business and all right, chill out, relax. You're doing a lot. Things are tight. You got a lot on your plate. You're stressed out. You're not trying to do all of that. Your body will put the brakes on you. Right? What you got to do is shift your focus to understanding it in that economic kind of financial way. Let's reduce the stress first, because the stress is the thing that got you the pay cut in the first place. And the pay cut is also the thing that's causing you the stress, right? So we got to deal with the stress. We got to work on improving our sleep quality, improving our food choices. We don't need to eat less necessarily. A lot of the times you need to eat more. Don't worry about, if I eat more. First of all, you're not gonna get fat from making the right food choices. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. I've never had anybody where they're like, you put me on a diet plan. I went from eating 1,200 calories a day and doing an hour of cardio a day, not losing no weight, and now you got me eating 1,600 calories a day, and now the number's just flying up on the scale. I've never had that happen. I go and have people eating like 500, 600, 700 more calories than they normally eat, and they start losing weight. And you go, well, I thought it was calories in, calories out. That don't make no sense. I'm like, no, 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 no. You're ignoring your second brain. Remember what I said in the beginning. When you ignore your second brain, that has very negative cascading effects on your gut health. And now economy comes into play. What does your body do with the resources you give it? That's the question. Is it going to store it as fat? Is it going to use it to produce more hormones? Is it going to use it to change your brain chemistry in order to get you to feel more motivated, so that you go to the gym, so that you sleep better, so that your body lets go of body fat more willingly? What does your body do with the resources you give it? That's the question. So we got to be a little bit more nuanced about nutrition. If calorie cutting was the thing that just guaranteed you weight loss, well, you don't need to listen to me. If you just want to lose weight, just eat less. Do the 1 Big Mac per day. You go, man, you look great. What have you been doing to lose weight? Man, let me tell you, all I did, I just eat a Big Mac a day. I just go to McDonald's and I eat a Big Mac, and I'm done eating for the day. And I Big Mac my way straight to my goal weight. Right? Show me the person doing that, right? It's just calories in, calories out, and it don't quite work that way. You can't Big Mac your way to better health. It doesn't work that way, right? So we got to be a bit more nuanced about how we approach human health, right? Sagar, what's going on? You comment this on every show. How many foods I tell you? Matter of fact, did you just jump into the stream late? Because you're gonna have to rewatch this, because I named a few others too about gut health, and we touched on your issue, right? So these issues that you're naming here with the gallbladder, chronic cystitis, all issues, all of that, this is the stream for you to watch, right? So definitely, if you tuned in late, you gotta replay this one. This one is, as a matter of fact, you were a big part of the reason why I decided to even do this stream in the first place, because it was you and a few other people who asked me to talk about gut health. Do I recommend intermittent fasting with weight training? Yes, I do. Absolutely. But the way that you train definitely matters, right? Because if you do it wrong, it can have very negative effects. Because remember, everything is about balancing your stress load. My man KO, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Yeah, put yourself on the schedule too. We gotta catch up, right? We gotta do some game planning and mapping things out, right? We gotta talk. I think we gotta have the stress conversation, right? But yeah, so basically, stress reduction is the way that you get that you break past that set point when you're trying to lose weight. Right? And if you're trying to build muscle, stress will also prevent you from building muscle, because your body is not like, oh, I'm all stressed out and I'm just going to build all this new muscle mass and whatnot too. No. What we're going to do is we're going to significantly reduce how motivated you feel. Oh yeah, you want to go to the gym and do all this wilding out, lifting all this heavy weight, and you ain't doing that no more, because we're bringing that motivation down. Right? So when you feel unmotivated, it's probably because you're real stressed out and your body is like, yo, we putting the brakes on you. So stress management and food is one of the best mechanisms for stress management. It's one of the best mechanisms, because the way that you feel and the stress you experience, a large part of it is the environment inside your body. Right? So your environment that exists outside of you can be stressing you. And that can translate into stress inside your body, but you can leverage food in order to maintain a stronghold of a stress low environment inside your body, right? So we're not just getting entirely consumed by stress, right? So I think I covered it. I think we got it. By the way, a prime example of stress management, aside from food, could be these herbal teas. Like in this tea, I drink 1 gram of ginger and 1 gram of turmeric in this tea. So I try to do this every night. That ginger and turmeric tea is a big deal. So my top 3 favorite teas: matcha, moringa, and the ginger turmeric. And I'll put a little bit of cayenne pepper in the matcha tea. Matcha tea is also very beneficial for your digestive tract and your gut health in general. Matcha tea, right? Matcha tea is good for your hormonal health, your brain chemistry, the environment of your digestive tract, all that type of stuff is a big deal. Moringa is another one. And then the ginger turmeric. Yeah, I don't know what they mean by that. All right. Just want to make sure I covered everything, that I'm thorough. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Y'all hear that water and background music? That's sound therapy. So when you come into the stream and it feels like a vibe, it's a pleasant thing to listen to and kind of just chill out in the stream, right? It's a good vibe. I'm very big on sound therapy. What you hear makes a tremendous difference in how you feel. I give you an example. If I go for a walk and I walk on the beach, the water, the sound of like the water, the waves coming in and out, it's really therapeutic. If I listen to that same sound of like water, whether it be the ocean waves coming in and out, if I listen to that in my earphones while I'm like reading or writing or whatever the case is, if I turn the sound off, it's jarring. It's aggressively silent. Right? It kind of snaps me out of that zone that I was in. It's deep. If you listen to, you know, high vibrational, high frequency meditation music or the water sound therapy, like what I have in my videos, it changes your brain chemistry. Right? Jazz, listening to some jazz or lo-fi chill hop music with the water and everything like that, I'm telling you, it's a whole vibe. So if you work from home or whatever the case is, put your earphones in and the same sounds you hear, put that on. Go to sleep with the water sound on. Right, listening to a waterfall or ocean waves or whatever the case is, and go to sleep with it. You'll get amazing sleep quality doing that. And it helps to reduce your stress. Meditation, deep breathing exercises, quick cold showers, you know, oatmeal baths or Epsom salt baths. If you've got a hot tub, hot tubs are absolutely amazing, or a jacuzzi, whatever the case is. If you got one of those in your bathroom and you're living it up like that, those are a big deal. Sound therapy, smell, so aromatherapy, so you can get like an essential oil diffuser, put that by your bed at night with the soft violet blue lights. It's a whole vibe, I'm telling you. Create good vibes in your life, because food is significant leverage to improve your quality of health and life, but it's not the only thing. Right? So stimulating all of your senses, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, and what you touch and or eat. Right? All right. Haven't said, I think I've covered all of it. If you want to book a call with me, I do calls, right? I got a link in the description of this video. You can book a consultation call with me. You pick your day and your time, you sign up for it. And then you'll be asked some questions. You put what you want to talk about, right? Your top 3 things that you want to improve, what your biggest struggles are, if you're on any medications, food allergies, what are injuries, any of that type of stuff. And we'll get to all of it in the call. All right. If you're not subscribed, definitely sub to the channel. I do this stream every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. This is the Monday Night Live. This is number 10. All right. This is 10 weeks in a row. Right. And if you haven't hit the like button yet on the stream, hit the like button. Right. Hit the like button if you like the stream. As they say on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and like and subscribe. And they got all these instructions. When I was streaming on TikTok, it is double tap the screen to like the stream. That was my phrase. Now for YouTube, I had to come up with another one. And it's too much, right? To subscribe, hit the bell icon, hit the like button, and then share. It's a lot. You can do 2 of those things is good enough. I know it's a lot. But in any case, I'll catch y'all in the next one.